Hey everybody, welcome back around to the blog and grill. I am your host Doug here with your video blog for December 17th, 2014. A great blog planned for you today as we'll be discussing the New York Yankees and some moves that they've made. We'll also take a look at the New York Knicks and what they're going to be doing. NFL power rankings. We'll talk about our NFL quarterback class as well as the draft. Talk will begin now. But first I want to get to some NBA action from last night as we had the two top teams in the NBA going toe-to-toe last night. The Golden State Warriors taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Warriors came in winners of 16 in a row, and the win streak was snapped last night. The Memphis Grizzlies played a very solid game. Zach Randolph, 17 points, 10 rebounds, and Marc Gasol, 24 points and 7 rebounds. Really led the way for this team. Mike Conley didn't have a great night shooting the ball, but still chipped in 17 for the Grizzlies. And for the Warriors, Steph Curry, 1 for 10 from 3, really struggled shooting the 3-ball last night. Klay Thompson had 22, and he was probably their best performer of the night. Off the bench, Maurice Spates at 18 and Sean Livingston with 12. I really like the depth of this team. They have Iguodala coming off the bench, Sean Livingston, Maurice Spates. They're still waiting for Bogut and David Lee to both be healthy. Festus Ezeli started at center. Draymond Green and Harrison Barnes had a pretty good game as well with 11 points and 8 rebounds. So what we do moving forward with this game, since it is still just December, is what does it mean for the Grizzlies? And I think it just shows the Grizzlies that they can play with a top-tier team that scores a lot in the Western Conference. They're very good defensively for sure. They forced 12, or they had 9 steals. So they played pretty well. Low fast break points, but that's not surprising. And they just pound the ball into the paint. 50 points in the paint for the Memphis Grizzlies. For the Warriors, I think they should see that they really need to get healthy. They need to get Andrew Bogut back. They need to get David Lee back. And if they get healthy, this team is going to be very dangerous because they still played pretty well defensively. Zach Randolph did have a really good shooting night at 8 for 12. But they did okay. Mike Conley didn't shoot the ball well. And Marc Gasol had to take a lot of shots to get stuff done. So that is a good thing for the Warriors. Let's look at the NBA standings briefly here. And in the East right now, we still have Toronto on top at 19-6. Washington 18-6. Atlanta 17-7. Chicago 15-9. Cleveland 14-9. Milwaukee, coming off that loss of Jabari Parker, could start to see their stock fall. They're at 13-12. Miami 12-13. And Brooklyn right now is in the 8th spot at 10-13. Orlando just 2 games out of a playoff spot right now, so that's something to keep an eye on as well. And out west, Golden State 21-3. Memphis 20-4. Houston 18-5. Portland 19-6. The Clip Show 17-7. Dallas 18-8. San Antonio 17-8. And then it's really a lot of teams in a tight playoff race for that 8th spot. Denver, Sacramento, Phoenix, OKC, and New Orleans are all separated by 2 games for the 8th spot in the playoffs. But OKC playing very well right now. They have now won 7 in a row. All right, the NFL draft talk has really heated up as we've moved through the NFL season now. And really it's coming down to who's going to be the top quarterback prospect. Currently on Mel Kiper and Todd McShay's mock drafts, they have the number 1 quarterback as being Marcus Mariota. This is on Todd McShay's draft board. They have Mariota going 1 to Tampa Bay, and they have Jameis Winston going 2 to the Tennessee Titans. I like the Jameis idea, and I think when you look at these guys, you have Marcus Mariota. Just going to go through his skills. I think he has above average feet, above average IQ, above average maturity. He's too small. His arm strength is probably, I would say his arm strength is probably average. And I think his control of the line of scrimmage is going to be average too, just because he's going to be running a pro-style offense now. And for Jameis Winston, I think his judgment is below average. I think his football IQ is high, but I think his off-the-field issues drop him below. I think he has above average arm. I think he has Andrew Luck, probably not as good a feet as Andrew Luck, but I think he does control the line of scrimmage well. And the interesting thing about this is that these two quarterbacks will be playing each other in the Rose Bowl. So we're going to get to see these guys on display at the same time, see what they can do, because these guys will be the two top quarterbacks coming out. But I think for Marcus Mariota, he needs to go to a situation where he can sit for a year. Maybe in Arizona, I've heard. I also wouldn't really be opposed to him going to a San Francisco with a Colin Kaepernick who's struggling. We'll see what happens. But with Jameis, I think Jameis could play in the NFL right now. He has the build. He has the arm strength. I think he just needs to go to the right coach who's going to be able to handle him. And I think Tennessee with Ken Wisenhunt is definitely an interesting prospect to look at. We'll have a lot more on the draft class and also on the Rose Bowl as we move through the next couple of weeks. All right, let's do our NFL power rankings. Coming in at number 5 this week, I have the Indianapolis Colts. Not buying into this team a lot on the defensive side of the ball right now, but Indy's playing well offensively. Luck is probably the best player in the National Football League right now. I have Indy in at number 5. Number 4, Denver Broncos. They're getting by on a good running game and some good defense. Peyton Manning's arm is dying quickly, and we're going to see what they can do this week against Cincinnati. I might give Cincinnati a shot in this game. Number 3, the Seattle Seahawks at 10-4, playing the best defense in the National Football League right now. They've given up 13 points over the past 3 ball games. Looking solid, getting stuff done. We'll see what they can do. They're number 3 right now. Number 2, the Green Bay Packers. I think they have a very strong quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Good weapons with Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb. I like what they're doing with the ball. Eddie Lacy's still running the ball well. They're playing good situational defense. I'll take Green Bay at number 2. And number 1, and I think this team is far and away number 1, New England. Best cornerback in the league right now. The quarterback that's playing the best right now in the league. They have the best tight end, and they have a very good pass rush with a decent offensive line. So New England is number 1. So I got New England, Green Bay, Seattle, Denver, and Indy as my top 5. All right, time for your New York sports update. Last night, the Knicks lost their 12th out of their last 13. They're now sitting at 5-22. They're at Chicago tomorrow night. That game will tip right around 8 o'clock. And the New York Yankees continue to make moves. They signed Chase Headley the other day to a 4-year, $52 million deal to be the new starting third baseman. Then yesterday, they signed Chris Capuano to a 1-year, $5 million deal. Capuano last year for the Yankees was 2-3 with a 4.25 ERA. He struck out 55 guys in 65 innings. He will likely start in the rotation, but then with Sabathia and Nova coming back, he will then move to the bullpen. And the future of Alex Rodriguez has been determined. Brian Cashman has said that Alex Rodriguez is no longer an everyday third baseman. He will likely be the everyday DH, but I like the flexibility it gives him. I could see this guy getting some reps at first base, giving Teixeira some DH days, and I think he could play third a couple of days a week and give Chase Headley a shot as well. And if you think Headley's better at first, you can move Headley over to first, put ARod at third for a day. It'll just be good. It'll give him some more moving parts. I still think they need to go out and get one more outfielder. All right, I'm going to be back on Saturday with a special edition of the blog. We'll be talking a lot about NFL Week 16. We got some bowl games going on and your New York sports update. Still trying to make contact with Trey Crosby of the Sports Minded News. He's looking to come on the blog on Saturday and talk some football with us. He does football picks on Sports Minded News, so you can check out Trey Crosby, who is a great follow on Twitter as well. Let's see. Trey Crosby, a very good follow on Twitter, and you can follow him at TC3YEEE. Okay, so check that guy out on sportsmindednews.com. All right, follow me on Twitter, YankeeBaller415. You can comment, question, subscribe to my page. Thanks for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. I'll be back on Saturday, hopefully with Trey. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you then.